So I get a lot of questions on how to repair damaged plants, and right now I've got several plants out there in the landscape that need repair. So let's get after it. First of all, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the website down below and you can get access to everything I do around here. All right, let's get on with the show. Now this is a damaged green giant tree that a deer come along and probably used his antlers to rough up, but you can see that he busted the whole top out of this thing. Now we can actually heal this, so what we're gonna do is just prop it back up. As long as you've got cambium intact, which we do all along the bark on both ends, you've got nutrients flowing up and down. So we're just gonna get this wrapped up with some parafilm and then put some kind of a brace on there. Now this whole cambium is still intact, so it's feeding the top, and you can even see the new growth coming out on it. So we really don't need much. I'm just giving it some breathable membrane to give it some humidity in there to repair, but also be able to breathe a little bit. Now this is what's gonna actually be the strength. So there's our repair, and you can see it really doesn't take much. We just want to kind of provide a nice humid environment in there so that the cambium can really start taking off and growing well. It'll be able to heal itself up. And then we've got a little brace there that is just anything, just a fir branch brace. Strengthened it and tightened it up with some electrical tape, and that's really all it takes. Like I said, the cambium's intact, so it's got plenty of good nutrient flow. It just needs time to heal in an upright position. So we'll keep an eye on this green giant. You can see we've got some nice new green growth coming out the top there, and we'll just give it the summer to do its thing. This may stay in place here for a couple of years, but I'll keep an eye on it and we'll come back and show you when something's happened. Now there were two of these that the deer damaged, and this is the other one. So once again, lots of cambium intact over on this backside here, feeding the top growth, which is actually starting to come out with new green tips. So all we need to do is stand it back up like the other one. So I'm a little more worried about this one because when I stood it back up in here, the cambium actually broke a little bit on that backside where it was intact. Actually, here it is on this branch. And so I don't know how much of it's intact. We stood it up. We've got a nice moist area in there to see if it gives it time to really start recouping. We'll see what happens. I'll come back to this and show you if anything changes, but we'll watch the top growth, see if new green growth continues on, and just kind of keep an eye on it. So it was, I think, May 21st when I started this project, and today is October 10th. So I've been out there looking at this plant, or these two plants, and I thought it was going to take a lot longer than this. But as I look at those plants and I look at the tape that I put around them, I can see that tape starting to expand and stretch and tear in some places. So that tells me that those trees sent up tons of nutrients and just built up tons of callus around those breaks. And I'm real tempted to go out there right now and just tear it all down and see what we've got. You guys want to take a little chance here? All right, so here we are out at these trees, and we've got this one right here that we repaired and that one right over there. So let's take a look first right here and see how this went through the summer. Now, it's been months since I started this thing, and we've got a little spider there, so I'm gonna have to be careful. But you can see what it did down here. This tree sent up a stronger branch. It just started diverting all of its energy into this lower branch down here, and you can see it's trying to put on a new central leader. So I came back just recently and I snipped back the top of that so it would put more energy back down and try to come up here. Now this stayed viable and green and healthy all through the summer here, and so I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be able to, next spring, it'll just start diverting energy back up this central leader here and get on track. But let's just go ahead and break this down now and see what we've got. All right, if you look down in there, look at how thick that is now, all that callus down in there. But if you'll notice, it's still got a little bit of play. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a lot. It's pretty solid, but I don't trust it enough to go through the winter on its own. So I'm gonna wrap that back up with that stick and some electrical tape, and we'll give it some more time, probably towards the end of next summer. All right, I've got the stick back on there. We've got it taped up. We'll just go through the rest of winter and see what happens. I think by the end of next summer, we're gonna have a huge calloused area right in there, and this thing's gonna be shooting up lots of new growth. So here's the other one. Since we saw that previous one, I don't think I'm gonna open this up. I'm sure it's got tons of callus. In fact, you can see it right here. All of this busted apart, and it's just swollen huge down in there. And this little break is healing. I'm not too worried about it all, but I'm gonna leave it all intact, and we'll come back and check that one out too at the end of next summer. You can see this one actually continued on with this central leader, and it put on nice new green growth through the summer. So it's intact, and it's got a lot of healthy tissues that are just providing plenty of nutrients up to the top. Now, I wanted to show you guys something in this rhododendron bed. I actually did the same thing with this rhododendron. This is an Ingrid Melquist. I've got a bunch of varieties in here, but this one right here is just a beautiful variety. And a few years back, actually it's been about probably 4 years now, maybe 5, this huge, like almost a third of this thing busted down because of snow. And I came under here. It's grown a lot bigger since then, but I want to show you this repair. I came under here, and you can see how gnarly and knotted this whole area is right here. Well, this whole branch right in here busted completely, and there was just some cambium left right in here. I stood the branch back up. You can't see it anymore because it's grown up around it, but I had to screw it. I drilled a screw right through there to hold the two sides together, wrapped it up really tight, and gave it probably 2 years wrapped up like that. And it's solid as a rock now. And this branch, you can see it's not going anywhere. And it continued on. I didn't have to cut a huge chunk of the tree out, or the shrub out, and it just continued growing healthy, beautiful green growth. And like I said, it's been 4 or 5 years since that happened. So this really can work if you have a plant that has a broken branch and it just really needs to be repaired, because it'll look ugly otherwise. So there it is, it can be done. I think I'm gonna get this one to you guys now, so that if you have any winter damage going into next spring, you can have some peace of mind, and just rest assured that you can put branches back together as long as there's some cambium still attached along that branch somewhere on that bark. It's still attached and able to provide nutrients. If you can get that sucker solid and sealed up, then it should just continue growing more cambium, healing in there, and then it'll start providing more nutrients over time. It may slow down. That growth on that side or that branch may slow down for that season, but once it heals up tight and strong, it's gonna pick up and just catch up with the rest of the plant. So I hope you guys learned something from this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow along. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios. All right, so I promised you guys an update. So I wanted to show this to you real quick here, and then we're gonna go over to this other side where we've got a lot of bigger green giants. so that you can see at the end of this season, because I did a video on these guys earlier on, you can see how they've done after this season. They put on a lot of growth this last summer. You can see now where I am. I mean, these things are probably 5 foot high. I'm 5'10", so they're starting to get there, but they're not that filled out and they're not that tall yet. All the way down the front of here, this is kind of how it is. But let's go over here now and show you what happens when you water these things. So if you like green giants, don't be discouraged by those ones over there. This is the potential of what they can actually do. And you can see that these things, I mean, like I said, I'm 5'10". Some of these things are probably up, what is that, like close to 9 foot tall. This guy over here, back here, is some of the tallest ones, but they're really starting to fill out now and look absolutely beautiful, and they're getting big. Now the difference is, I actually water these a lot because I got my rhododendrons right here, and the sprinkler hits these guys with the rhododendrons and they get plenty of moisture. So what I really need to do is run some kind of drip irrigation all the way down through the rest of them. I never did that, and so I've got green giants that are half the size of these. We could probably catch up if I get that done, and I really need to, but if you love green giants, this is the potential after, what's it been, 4 or 5 years? I'll have to go back and look in the videos, but they are starting to grow massive, and they put on a lot of growth just this past season. So I'm excited to see what happens in one more year. All right, I think that about settles it for now. I hope that satisfies you green giant fans out there. I think that's it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you in the next video. Adios.